Greetings, Jeepers. So today's project that we got going is we're going to install this new shift tower that we had. And what we're going to do first probably is clean up the base of the shifting plate here before we put some gasket sealant and gasket on there. And then we'll drop it on top of the T-90 transmission, and we'll show you how to line up these forks so that they're in the correct position. And so that's our project for today.
There's a difference. This part right here has been buffed with a wire wheel, and then this part hasn't, and that will make a difference for when the gasket seats on this piece of metal. I'm just using a grinder and a wire wheel.
The dust off it with just a little bit of acetone, just to make sure we have a good seal when we bolt it all together.
We are now over at the transmission here, and this is where the shift tower is going to go. We're just going to clean up where the gas is going to go. So we're going to scrape off anything that's on there and then use some acetone to clean up this metal right here, and then we'll get the gasket installed. Just using some acetone here to wipe off the metal right now.
So what we're going to do here is add our gear oil just before we finally get the shifter on. But it's very important to use the GL4, and the grade is maybe not so important, but this is the one we found, or the type. And it's for it's an 80-90 weight, and particularly GL4s. If you kind of read the back of it, it will not harm yellow, brass, bronze, copper, or other soft metals such as synchronizers, thrust washers. And in these old T90s, that's exactly what we got. So the GL4 is what you want to use. It also says will not harm other components typically found in classic manual transmissions. Contains no friction modifiers. Always consult equipment owner's manual. Yeah. And one other thing, not for use in applications requiring GL5. So GL4 is the one you want, 80-90 weight. And we're gonna add this into the top of the transmission here shortly.
Next, you want to get your shift tower gasket here. We'll just use some number 2 Forma gasket, and we'll just gasket seal the gasket all the way around, and then we'll put that onto the shift tower. We also put a little bit of gasket sealer along this face right here on the shift tower, and then we'll put the gasket on top. Try to get the holes line up with the screwdriver, as you see as we're doing. And now we'll put more gasket sealer on this face of the gasket.
Good old mucking gasket sealer. Gotta love it.
We're also going to put some gasket sealer along this transmission right here where the shift tower will go. As you can see, we have gasket sealer around the transmission right here where the shift tower will go. And now we will put in 1 quart of gear oil. This is just so the transmission is not dry when we first get this thing going. There's some lubrication in all these gears.
Takes 3 pints according to the manual. So 1 quart is 2 pints. So we will top it up underneath a little later.
When you're dropping in the shift tower here, these forks right here have to line up with these grooves right here, and the larger fork will go onto this groove where my finger is, and then the smaller fork will go into this groove right here, and it should just drop right in very easily. And if you're having a hard time, something's probably wrong. And now you just get the forks to line up as best you can. Like that, and now we have to line all these holes up with the gaskets in there, and then we'll get the bolts tightened and torqued. Make sure you put gaskets either onto all the bolts as well, because these threads are actually threaded straight into the transmission. You don't want oil migrating up the bolts. We'll just do that to all, just 2, 4, 6 bolts here, and they are 3/8 by 3/4 long with a lock washer. Tighten all the bolts kind of snug, and then go in a crisscross to tighten them up more, because you want to put even pressure onto the shift tower to seal that gasket up. Now we're going to use a torque wrench here just to finish it off. We have it set to 15 foot-pounds, and that should do it. And we'll just tighten them up in a crisscross pattern here. That is how you install the shift tower into a 1947 CJ2A Willys Jeep. Thanks for watching Let's Build a Willys Jeep, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel.